Well, I've been working on this Remington 700 Classic from 1985, chambered in 350 Rem Mag. Had a couple of quick posts up on it, but I've been kind of trying to figure out what I wanted to do for a scope on it. The rifle came with a set of loopholed standard bases and no rings, but I kind of looked in my pile of stuff that I have kicking around, various loopholed and Burris and Redfield rings, and grabbed this set of low loopholed rings, and I stuck this old Vari-X 3. This one's a 1 3/4 to 6. This was on my Remington 600 Magnum with this tally one-piece base and rings, which I really like. These are tidy. Just kind of figuring out options for this 700 Classic. Looks to me like the height with the loopholed low rings is just about right. I just have that sitting in there. I shouldered it and fooled around with it, and I like how that feels. So the options that I had kicking around were these matte bases, or actually I don't know if those bases are matte or not. You know, the difference between loopholed gloss and matte things these days isn't as much as it once was, but I stuck these low matte rings on the standard bases to begin with, and then I found in my stuff I have a set of vintage gloss dual dovetails, so that would work, except for I didn't have the right base. And I came up with a one-piece base for standards if I wanted to go that way, but this one is the LR version, which is a 15-minute for long-range adjustments, so don't really need that on a 350 Rem Mag. So playing around, I put in an order to Midway, and here's the box over here. So I got a couple of options that I thought I'd look at. I grabbed a set of dual dovetail. They call it gloss rings, but boy, they sure aren't very glossy. So that's an option that I could use with the rings here that I grabbed these rings that I already have. However, I did notice that one of these has a little bit of a color defect on it. Right there. I didn't care for that too much, so I went ahead and put on the order a set of replacement dual dovetail rings in low, and it says gloss, but once again, when we get that out of the package, we'll see that gloss is not the same as gloss used to be, so I have to kind of take a look at how those look. And so those two things, and then here's another option. I decided to grab a set of tally bases for the 700 short action, and I could use these tally bases in conjunction with these tally rings that I already have. I don't know how the height's going to work out, or if I'd have to order some replacement rings. You know, and just kind of mocking it up, it looks like it's similar to the loopholed low rings, but that's another option that I have. I could run these tally bases and tally rings, and I guess if I don't like the height, I could always order another set. So that was one option there. I don't know how that'll pan out. And then on sale, they had a small base /06 die set. Threw it on the order because it was cheap. And then one of the main reasons I ordered is they had these factory overrun Spear 250 grain 35 caliber hot cores on sale, which I think will be a very good 350 Rem Mag bullet. I've seen where on YouTube North 61 likes this bullet with, I believe he runs 748, and I think like around 57 grains or something. Pretty. It's actually a load that's in the Spear book. So doing this one-handed is a real test of my dexterity, and I think I managed to do it. I didn't feel like setting up a camera mount, but anyway. So these are the 250 Spear hot cores, which I think I have a few loose ones, but I've went ahead and bought 500 of them since they were on sale. So that should keep me busy in the 350 Rem Mag for a spell, and I might try some of these in the 358 JDJ on the Contender, and perhaps even the 357 Hair on the Contender. So that's my Midway order. 500 bullets, bases, and that set of dies. So right now, I think that what I probably would gravitate towards is the dual dovetail bases and the loopholed low rings. I am curious about where the tally bases would put me. So I think what I might do first is I think I might slip this setup off of the rifle, because it's just on there, as far as the rings anyway, it's just on there loose. Twist the front ring out, back ring out, take these bases off, because I don't think I'm going to run these bases. If I stick with the two-piece loophole bases, I will go with these dual dovetails and the gloss rings. So I think the first thing I'll do is I'll slip these bases off. We'll temporarily mount the tally bases and these rings and see how it comes out. And once I get that mocked up, I'll check back in. Well, now that's a goofy setup. What I've done is I've temporarily set the front tally base and ring on to compare the height with the loophole that's in the back, and that's a good bit higher. I don't know if there's a lower height tally ring that would help me out here or not. To show kind of where we're at on that, let's go ahead and set these alignment pins in there. I might have to loosen the screws up quite a bit to get this in there. Yep, I'm going to have to probably use two hands here, but I can try to do it with one. Oh, there goes the top screw. I guess it doesn't matter. As long as I have one screw in there, I'll be all set. We'll just set that in there real carefully with one hand. And then we can just put a little twist on there, and that'll bring that into where it needs to be as far as a good reference point. But you can see that that's a lot higher than the rear. So I don't think that I would want to use that setup, because I really like the way this felt with the with that loophole setup. So yeah, there's a good bit of difference there, probably on the order of 1/8 of an inch, I would think, somewhere like that. So there may be a lower tally ring, but I didn't order any and I don't have any, so I think I'm going to go ahead and go back to the original plan. I'll mount these gloss, pseudo gloss, kind of gloss loophole two-piece dual dovetail bases, and I'll use the new loophole kind of sort of gloss dual dovetail rings. So let me get my hybrid set up off of here, and then I'll set up things with the loophole base and rings, and I'll check back in a minute. Well, I have the new dual dovetail bases just sitting on there. I was going to mock them up with the old screws because the new screws come with the blue Loctite compound already on there. So I was going to set everything up with the old screws just to, you know, not mess up the Loctite, and I was very disappointed with this sloppy fit of the bases. Well, then I got looking closely. The new screws have a larger head than the old screws, so that's where that slop's coming from. This new screw fits in here, in that, well, back here, fits in that recess a lot tighter. So I think I'm going to have to forego the mock-up with the old screws because they simply don't fit. I probably have some screws in the collection that would work, but I think I'll just go ahead and slip these back off. I didn't tighten them or anything. I'll do the final cleanup on the top of the receiver and go ahead and mount them permanently, because I believe that this is the setup that I'll run with for now, and can't mock it up with the old screws. I'll check in a minute. Okay, well, I've got that Vari-X 3 mounted, and I didn't torque the ring screws down yet. I've just got it set about where I think I want it. I'm going to take it outside when it's sunny out. It's raining right now, but when it's nice out, or maybe I'll just even do it at the range and make sure I like where the eye relief is, high magnification versus low. Sometimes the relief changes a little bit, and we'll see how it feels when I shoulder it, but I think I'll run it this way for a bit. I may source some lower tally rings, measure those, and see if there is a lower height, because I may switch back to those. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how the rifle shoots. It came with the front sight on it, and that was a little chewed up. I think it was where someone took the hood off of it, so I've been shopping for replacements. I might even shoot this with irons a little bit if I get those around. I don't have a rear sight for it. I do have the rear sight screws. It had these screws in it when it came, but here's the front sight parts. But I'll run it with this scope for a spell and see how I like it. I just ended up putting some plug screws in the existing holes there, so we'll give it a try, see how it shoots. Might end up doing some bedding. This just has the factory inletting and whatnot. It's not really floated. There's some barrel contact there with this Magnum contour barrel, but we'll try it out, see how it runs, and go from there and decide what to do next. So that's the 700 Classic and 350 Rem Mag, and I'll talk to everybody later. Thanks for watching.